Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to an all-new edition of War Week Radio. My goodness, it's been a while since we've actually visited with you guys, and we have a great one this evening. We're going to be speaking with three-decade fight trainer, Mr. James Gogue. Guys, we're going to be breaking down Pacquiao versus Vargas, the top-ranked pay-per-view, going on their own steam without the influence of HBO. We're going to get Gogue's opinion of all of that. So, guys, let's say hello to our special guest, three-decade fight trainer, Mr. James Gogue. James, how are you doing this evening, sir?
Hey, Joe, I'm doing good. It's been a while, but, sometimes you got to take a break to get rejuvenated and recharged. So I'm ready to go tonight. We got a lot of great fights coming up in November, December, and next year, January, February next year, they got a lot of stuff that PBC announced. So, yeah, boxing this year was pretty much putrid. It's the worst year I've ever seen in boxing. The worst year. It was a year of fighters pulling out of fights, not wanting to make fights. A year of promoters not wanting to put their fighters in the best fights and giving the fans what they want to see. It was just. Like I said, just a putrid year of boxing, just terrible. And hopefully, 2017 coming up, it'll change for the better for the great fans out there.
So with that said, Gogue, are you ready to break down, brother, this pay-per-view coming up at the Thomas & Mack Center from Las Vegas, Nevada, top-ranked presentation of Manny Pacquiao versus Jessie Vargas. It's being billed as the champ versus the legend. So let's get reacquainted with Manny Pacquiao. Here's the tale of the tape with Senator Pacquiao. Guys, he's going to be entering the ring at age 37, and he's going to be turning 38 in December. He fights out of the southpaw stance. He stands about 5'6" inches tall in the center of the ring. He fights behind a 67-inch reach. Originally from, he resides out of General Santos City in the Philippines, and he is now a senator working out of the Senate building in Manila. He comes into the ring with a record of 58 wins, 6 losses, 2 draws. Gogue, what do you like about the Pac-Man? Please rattle off his strengths and weaknesses, sir.
Oh, strengths, look at his resume, his championship experience. This ain't the first dance for him, okay? Big Super Bowl event for him. That's going into the fight. That's huge, Joe. When you're going into a fight like this, Joe, the pressure, oh, boy, it's just tremendous, okay? Especially if you're inexperienced, if you're a rookie like Vargas, okay? You get overwhelmed by the media event, the hype, that builds up in you, Joe, and, you don't perform to your maximum potential, because mentally, all the hype messes with your emotions and your mind, and sometimes it could be crushing. Okay, so it's just Manny, because he's been in these big events. It's just another dance I'm going to. Okay, another big dance I'm going to be involved in. He understands everything, all the magnitude of big events like this, and he understands. How to deal with the pressure of big events like this, okay? And he's been through this. Vargas, it's going to be his first big Super Bowl dance. So, how is he going to be able to, handle the big lights at the bright stage and the pressure, the tremendous amount of pressure, Joe, that fans out there, you don't realize these fighters go through, okay? And that's what Manny Pacquiao, I think his biggest asset going into the fight. Everybody talks about, his championship experience, of course, and his ability, his footwork, great footwork, move in and out of range, move in circles, fast, sharp, crisp combinations, very astute, accurate, intelligent counterpuncher, Great counter check right hook he likes to throw when you move in the range, if you get over aggressive, stuff like that. Over the years he's done. The talent and ability he showed over the years against all the great fighters out there. Vargas, like I said, he hadn't been on the stage before. His biggest fight was with Tim Bradley. Fight I thought he was losing. And he got Bradley with the right hand in the later parts of the fight, and that created a little buzz about, hey man, I won the fight, which I didn't think he did. I think he won that round, but it didn't do enough for him to win the fight because Bradley was outboxing clearly. And going into the Saddam Ali fight, Saddam maybe was winning the fight by a point, then he got caught with the right hand. But yeah, that's Pacquiao. Yeah, it's just his overall, experience being in big fights like this, his talent and ability, his style, the way he fights, his athleticism, all that, Joe. His counterpunching, his fast, sharp, crisp combination, his power, his ability to hurt you at any time, and Joe. He just got the big, huge advantage over Jessie Vargas going in this fight. That's why he's an 8-1 favorite. You were telling me.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's take a look at the tail of the tape of Jessie Vargas at this time. He is the current WBO Welterweight champion at this time, and just as you said, he won the vacant title, vacated by Timothy Bradley, by beating Saddam Ali. So keep in mind, guys, Jessie Vargas, even though he is the legitimate title holder, he didn't exactly beat a champion to win the belt. So he's coming into the ring at age 27. He fights out of the orthodox stance. He stands in the center of the ring, 5'10" tall. He fights behind a 71-inch reach. Boy, and when you see him side by side, Manny Pacquiao, he is towering over him. We'll ask Senor Gogue if that's going to make any difference. He currently resides and trains out of Las Vegas, Nevada, with trainer Dewey Cooper. He will come into the ring with a record of 27 wins, 1 loss, 0 draws, 10 big wins coming by way of knockout. Wow. And it's funny, when you look at that knockout percentage, boy, that's pretty bad. But seemingly at 147, since working with Memo Heredia, since working with trainer Dewey Cooper, boy, he seems to have really increased his power and seems to be a much more confident puncher. Gogue, is this going to make a difference? The height, the reach advantage, the youth, and, well, his confidence and power increasing going into this fight. Are those going to be big factors against Manny Pacquiao?
If he uses his ring intelligence, uses his physical attributes to his advantage, and keeps Manny at bay, okay? Keeps Manny at bay and everything, and not let Manny not be a punching bag and just stay there and let Manny, blitzkrieg you like he did Antonio Margarito, who was just coming forward, and getting punched round after round after round after round consistently and getting hurt with shots, But if he uses his height, his range, and his footwork to keep Manny at bay and not let him get him range to throw them fast, sharp combinations and move away, it could, his ring intelligence, Joe. That's what it is, Joe. See, I always say this is a business where it's just more than throwing punches, okay? It's thinking. You got to be a smart, intelligent, thinking fighter. And if he uses his advantages in height, range, length, and keeping Manny at bay, then hey, you know what I mean, Joe? It's a different ballgame. You know what I mean? And he might have problems getting in range, and he can't get off on them quick, fast, sharp combinations. But if he stays right in front of him, if he starts pressing the action and stays right in front of him like a punching bag, well, hey, you got a problem. But if he gives him that movement like Algieri did and keeps him at range with that long range, stinging, long-rangey, stinging jabs along with a lot of touch jabs and, puts his combinations together behind him, then moves around him and not staying in front of him to get hit by return counter fires. Yeah, that's being intelligent, Joe. That's being intelligent. But let's see how he goes in the fight. I know Vargas, he likes to be, physical. He likes to be aggressive. That's his nature. That's his personality if he has to. And ain't nothing wrong with that, but you just got to do it at the opportune moments, okay? You got to do it at the best strategic moments where you're not going to get hit with return fire consistently, okay? That's where a thinking man fighter comes in, Joe. It's just like I said. It ain't just about throwing punches. But knowing the opportune moments and planning a good strategic game plan on executing your offensive combinations with getting hit less will return fire in the process. Okay, Joe? But, stuff like that, Joe, stuff like that, he's going to have to do to fight a guy like a sharp counter-puncher, intelligent counter-puncher like Manny Pacquiao. A sharp combination puncher like Manny Pacquiao. Those rollings of punches, like I said, it's like a blitzkrieg. Just combination after combination after combination.
Like a machine gun, absolutely.
Yeah, once he gets his momentum, Joe, and especially you just stand there like Margarito, you're going to get hit punched with all angles. You're going to get hit with punches coming from all angles. Body, head, body, and the punches are going to hurt you. And if you keep getting consistently hit punch after punch after punch, with round after round after round, it's going to be like Margarito, You're going to get beat up real bad.
Well, we've seen Vargas early on his career against, lesser opposition, box very well. Early in his career against Josecito Lopez, he boxed very well. Impressively against a former Freddie Roach fighter, Wally Amatosa, he boxed very well, and that was at 147 pounds as well. He boxed really well in in China when he was on a Manny Pacquiao undercard in outpointing Antonio DeMarco. He looked very sharp. That was his first fight working with Memo Heredia. Since then, his only hiccup, and he says, I couldn't get my body to respond, Jessie Vargas stated, in referring to his performance against Tim Bradley. Tim Bradley made him look amateurish at times, shutting him down, making him second-guess himself, getting off first, moving in and out of range extremely well, controlling distance in pretty much every round of the fight, with the exception of the 12th when he got caught in the final seconds of the final round. So, Gogue, I guess I'm asking you, can Jessie Vargas, because he seems to be a poor man's versatile fighter, a poor man's jack of all trades. I should say a jack of all trades, master of none. He's versatile, but he doesn't do any one thing extremely well. He's shown, because he's always in great shape, a world-class physical and mental durability, but really doesn't seem to have the athleticism or the power to actually compete and succeed at the elite level. Do you see him in the biggest fight of his career coming up big and really putting his best performance to date on the biggest stage of boxing?
Only if Manny Pacquiao gets old overnight. He's to that point, Joe. Any fight he could get old overnight, just like De La Hoya did when he fought Pacquiao. Okay, Manny Pacquiao, has been a very, very busy man in his duties as a senator. Okay, he hasn't been committing himself 110% to boxing. You know what I mean? So it can happen, Joe. Boxing, like Larry Merchant said, is the theater of the unexpected. When you don't expect it, boom, it'll happen. And that's the only way I could see Jessie Vargas putting on the type of performance he's been waiting for his whole career against a superstar fighter like a guy like Manny Pacquiao. That's Manny Pacquiao, gets old overnight and can't pull the trigger.
Well, what's amazing is, and we've seen this from special athletes, right? That old saying, Gogue, that idle hands are the devil's playground? Well, that seems to be the case with Manny Pacquiao. The busier he is, it almost seems the better he becomes. And in speaking with Freddie Roach this past week, he stated this. He stated, quote, Manny is exactly where we want him to be. He is peaking at the perfect time. He is hurting me on the pads, and he's busting up his sparring partners. He looks like the Manny Pacquiao of old, end quote. Gogue, pre-fight hype, or is there some truth to that?
Oh, shit, man. Freddie's just trying to promote his guy. Hey, Freddie's, one thing he's good at, he knows how to say all the right words when he's getting ready, when they're promoting a fight, okay? I don't know. I'm not in that damn gym. I don't know what he's doing. That's the only way I can know what he's doing and how he looks is, being in that gym and how he's looking and sparring. That's going to give me the gauge I need to that's going to give me the gauge I need to see how this fight's going to play out. But I'm not in the gym with him. I don't know how he's training and everything. So, him hitting the pads, he's the same old man. He's fast, sharp, explosive. You know what I mean? But, I got to see him spar and everything, and that's something I haven't been able to see and everything. So, and how he looks consistently, in sparring. Not just one sparring session looks great, then he looks terrible the next 3 or 4. There's got to be that consistency and everything. So, yeah, it's just hype to promote the fight and everything.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's look at the gambling lines. And like you just stated, when this event was first announced, Manny Pacquiao was an 8-1 betting favorite. It's now tightened a little bit, but not by much. He is a minus 700 right now, which is a 7-1 betting favorite. Jessie Vargas, with the betting differential, is listed as a plus 500, which means he's a 5-1 betting underdog. Gogue, what's the safe bet here for anyone who wants to put down money? In my opinion, Gogue, I would bet because of the durability of Jessie Vargas, right? Even though he's never been in the ring with someone who has the kind of speed and power and the athletic gifts or the ability of Manny Pacquiao, the experience. He's never been in with, but I still don't see Jessie Vargas getting stopped in this, right?
Yeah.
If I were to bet, I would bet on, to be honest with you, a Manny Pacquiao decision victory hedged by a Jessie Vargas knockout. In my opinion, he's going to get down early, and he's going to be gunning for the knockout late. So if I had to actually encourage anyone to bet, which we don't on this show, guys, and I would actually be willing to bet that Manny Pacquiao is going to win a unanimous, overwhelming points decision hedged by a Jessie Vargas knockout. That's the way I would bet. Now, Gogue, how do you see this fight playing out? And do you agree with the betting line? 7-1 Manny Pacquiao favorite, 5-1 Jessie Vargas the betting underdog.
Only way Vargas is going to win this fight, he's got to knock him out, plain and simple. He's not going to get a decision over this guy. This guy's a house fighter. This is a fighter that Aram, wants to win so he can move him to bigger fights next year and everything. So that's his cash cow right now. Aram doesn't have a big pay-per-view star. The only pay-per-view star right now he has is, Pacquiao. But if somehow Vargas pulls the upset, well, guess what? He's a new kid on the block. But anyway, I just can't see how he's going to be able to handle a guy like Pacquiao. Man, he had a hard time handling a guy like Bradley. His boxing, counter-punching, fast, sharp combination style. Just think what he's going to have a problem with a guy like Pacquiao, who's on a different level. I think he's a better and more intelligent counter-puncher. Has more talent and ability, Joe. That's what I'm trying to say, than Tim Bradley. And I just can't see how he's going to overcome all this. And that's why they got him as an 8-1 underdog, which I think is correct. And I just see it as a unanimous decision. Manny Pacquiao winning 7-5 or 8-4, 8 rounds to 4.
Yeah, indeed, guys. If you're looking for a Manny Pacquiao knockout, boy, it would be his first knockout victory since 2009, in which he actually stopped Miguel Cotto on November 14th of 2009. Gogue, it's been almost 7 years since we've seen the Pac-Man knock someone out. Wow. Yeah. So, guys, chances are, and say what you want about Jessie Vargas, he is indeed a very mentally and physically durable guy. I can't see Manny stopping him, but I do see him outclassing him and getting a wide UD from all three of the judges at ringside. Gogue, any final thoughts on this? Because, we'll talk about another matchup that Bob Arum and Freddie Roach both want. After this, your final thoughts on Manny Pacquiao versus Jessie Vargas?
Honestly, Joe, I like to see what the numbers are after this fight without HBO behind it, because when you got the big HBO platform behind you and that marketing machine behind you, it helps out in the promotion of a fight. It gets the word out there, and it gets it, and the fight gets out there to the masses. But now, without HBO behind them, this is Aram's footing the bill for this fight. So I like to see what the numbers are for this fight afterwards. That'll be interesting. And if it does great, that's great. That means you don't have to be so dependent on HBO or Showtime to do your own pay-per-view fights. You can go out on your own and save a lot of money. You don't have to pay that 50% they pay to all those cable providers and them fees that HBO want. I don't know, 7% or something like that. I don't know what they want for the pay-per-view. Something like that. I can't remember. I was reading about. But, you ain't got to pay all that extra overhead costs that, takes away from your, the bottom line, your profits and everything. So I like to see him. If he could, honestly, Joe, if he could get $300,000 without HBO and not paying all those satellite subscribers, hey, man, I think he's going to do good. I think it's going to do good. I think it's going to be a profitable show. But I don't know, like I said, I don't know what the budget is for this fight, and I don't know what Aram's expenses are for this fight. So I don't know what his break-even point has to be. Is it $200,000, $250,000? I don't know. I don't get privy to that information.
Well, Gogue, I tell you what, and this was Aram's logic. He said, look, if they're not going to pay for the entire event, pay for the big licensing fee that they've done in the past, then why are we going with HBO? Because as it is, for any kind of promotional event like the Countdown specials, the 24/7 specials, the Road to specials, Bob's argument is, hey, man, we've been having to pay for that anyway. We're the ones who put the bill for the production costs. So what are we paying them a percentage for?
Mm-hmm.
And
I
so
agree.
Bob is rolling the dice. And I tell you what, he might actually start a trend that, the UFC currently uses. They don't have the benefit of a big premium cable network, and they're doing it all on their own bankroll, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so think about this, Gogue. If Bob Aram's pay-per-view production does better than HBO's Ward versus Kovalev, could we see a trend started where the promoters are not so reliant on the big networks?
Only with Top Rank. The other promoters, they're not smart like Top. They're not smart like Top Rank. Okay? Top Rank's the best promoter right here in America. Okay, they understand how to do this. They got the staff to do it. Okay, the other promoters out there, they need HBO. Plain and simple. They don't have the manpower or the know-how on how to do it. Okay, all the little intricacies, all the nuances to make a pay-per-view successful. Top Rank knows what to do. They got a veteran staff there. Okay. All around, top to bottom, okay? And like I said, in America, they're the best promoter right now, I think, in my opinion, being in the business long enough and dealing with all the promoters, they are the best, okay? They know how to build fighters into, take them from scratch, make it to contender, to make them champion, ticket sellers, television stars, pay-per-view stars. And, look at their track record, their history, the last 30, 40 years, and that's all, I need to say and everything. But, the other promoters, they ain't smart enough. They ain't got the infrastructure. They're going to need HBO's help, without a doubt.
Well, I tell you what, it's going to be interesting to see, Gogue. Let's fast forward to, in the remaining portion, do you want to talk about because to try and make, I guess, the pay-per-view more enticing, right? Bob Aram has actually put up, Nonito Donaire versus Jesse Magdaleno in the co-main event of the evening. He's also pitting Oscar Valdez and making his very first WBO featherweight title defense. And he's also, putting up your favorite fighter, Mr. Zhao Shiming, to open the telecast.
Oh, shit.
In your mind, Gogue, is the undercard going to make a difference
Not
in
at all.
whether or not these fans choose to purchase this over Ward versus Kovalev?
They'll give it a flavor, but the bottom line is, when you buy a pay-per-view, you buy the main event, not the icing on the cake, okay? All right? You don't buy the sideshow. You buy the main event. Jesse Magdaleno, no needle down there. It ain't going to make a difference. Zhao Shiming, because he's from China and they could broadcast it back to China. There's revenue coming in from that, Joe, because Aram's not going to give that feed for free. He's gonna make that Chinese meat, Chinese television, who's ever going to broadcast it. He's going to make them pay sponsors and stuff like that. So he does have value with that guy, even though the guy is a clown and he can't fight. But anyway, who else is that? Oscar Valdez. They could sell that to Mexico, Joe, on I don't know, TBS Deca or something like that later on. He's Mexican. They're developing him into the next superstar from Mexico. And, TBS Deca or one of them Mexican television networks would buy it. So, yeah, guys like that, Joe, they do have value. But the meat of the source from the pay-per-view, it's got to be Pacquiao versus Vargas. That's the ones the fight fans want to see, okay? Not the sideshow, or the icing on the cake, okay, I call it.
Very good. Well, there it is, your main event of the evening this Saturday night from Top Rank Pay-Per-View. Jessie Vargas defending his WBO welterweight title against Manny Pacquiao. It's going to be your main event of the evening.